I'd like to welcome everyone here today as we celebrate the life of Joy Hagyard, a special mom, grandma, great-grandma, sister, sister-in-law, auntie, and friend. We gather to comfort each other in our grief and to honor her life and honor the life that Joy led. A life that was full of hope, happiness, laughter, and love through good times as well as in bad. When Kim called me to ask me if I would officiate at Joy's memorial service today, I was totally surprised and honored. To think that Joy thought enough of me to send her off to her final resting place is so humbling. Both Ken and I have always had a spot in our hearts for Joy, and we will miss her too. Joy was a true gem, the kindest, most genuine, sincere, and caring person I've ever known. She loved life and lived it to the fullest. When Joy asked how you were, she actually cared and listened to your answer. When I worked at the lodge, we had many great visits in her room. And then I often bumped into her at the post office where we would stand out in the street and visit. She always asked about Ken, how things were on the farm. When we moved to the lake, she was so happy for us, saying how she had loved the time she spent at her cabin at Rock Lake. When chatting with her girls, I was totally amazed at the number of things she'd done throughout her life. She was a busy lady. Her girls have such wonderful memories of their mom, from coaching the Riviere Snowflake girls baseball team, working at a humane society, doing books for various companies, running Valley Foods with her hubby Merv, but always finding time to do fun things with her girls, and later, as her family grew, her 11 grandchildren, and later still, 10 great-grandchildren. When I would ask about any of her kids, her face beamed. She was so proud of all of you. Carol told me her mom passed away the day before her and Merv would have celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary. Do you suppose she wanted to get to heaven so she could plan that party? She always loved a party. Joy leaves Joy leaves to carry on her legacy 4 daughters and their spouses, 11 grandchildren, and 10 great-grandchildren. She was the eldest of 11 children, and 9 of us are still with us. Joy loved her family, and I know each of you has special memories that will be in your hearts forever. Joy's granddaughter Jolene will share a special poem with us.
Hello everyone. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in the gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember how I loved you all. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must make, and I must go alone. It's part of the Master's plan, a step on the road to home. So when you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends that you know, and bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go.
Good. Hey, testing. There we go. Born Olena Agnes Stadfeld, many of you knew her as Joy, the joy of all our lives. Joy Hagyard, she was known to many. She was known to her mom as mom. known to her as mom to her 4 strong daughters, and she was Grammy to me and the rest of my cousins. And to the 10 greats, she was also known as Grammy. I only met my Grams while she was later on in life, but what a full life she lived, full of much family and joy. Born to a big family, she was the eldest of 11 siblings, 2 brothers, Barry and Ray, and 8 sisters, June, Shirley, Sharon, Irene, Linda, Laverne, Dawn, and Marilyn. My grandmother endured a lot in her full lifetime. Raising 4 strong and smart daughters, having a husband who fought fires for a living, and did I mention being the eldest of 11 siblings? My grandma was born in 1932 during the Great Depression. She told me as a girl, times were so hard they had to make do with what they had, including making their underwear out of the flour sacks and eating lard sandwiches. My grandma endured a lot. She saw World War II and the start and the end of the Cold War. She grew up in the time of rock and roll when Elvis was king, and there was also Johnny Cash too. She saw the popularity and the technology of the television evolve. She saw the moon landing. She saw a lot of technology grow and evolve fastly in her lifetime. Electricity, phones, the birth and death of video rental stores, flushing toilets. Growing up, she was the first grandma I knew who owned a computer, mostly for solitaire. She lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis. She saw the world pay attention to both Hitler and Trump, Castro and Trudeau, both Trudeaus. Her life was impacted by a great deal of historic events, including the COVID-19 pandemic. Her life was more than just historic events, of course. It was full of family. She saw all her daughters get married and have children of their own. We enjoyed good times at the cabin at both lakes. I remember she would yell at my grampy, Mervyn, on the boat to slow down with her tinies. Later, she would yell something similar at Uncle Trevor. She took all his grandkids to experience the wild, wild west and to BC to visit her family in Enderby. During all this time, she surrounded herself with family and love. Grammy's door was always open. Grammy never said no to a game of cards or crib, and I remember never wanting to leave her playroom in the basement. In university, I lived with her for a summer, and every night we would cheers to something with Graham's favorite, chilled Merlot. She was always curious to hear what I was learning about, and that summer, and always. She always reminded me, education is the one thing they can't take away from you. So get yourself an education. I know she was very proud of her 4 incredibly bright and beautiful daughters, and our family. My Grammy lived a full life, a lifetime of joy, and she will be dearly missed.
Very nice, girls. Thank you very much. And now we'll have the committal of the ashes, Joy's ashes to the ground. And as we send her on her way with just a little bit of earth that I collected from her cabin at Rock Lake. Joy, we honor your journey through life and we remember you with gratitude, the deep love for your family and friends. We are grateful that you have been a part of our lives, but we now wish you well on the rest of your journey. May you travel safely, knowing that our love goes with you. You're good stuff, Joy. Godspeed. Thank you, Liam, for providing that beautiful trumpet tribute to your grandma's memorial service. We'll now close the grave.
No, we're gonna
If anyone else would like to come and take part in the grave closing ceremony, please come and feel free to do so.
Trevor? Anybody else? True.
Fine.
Whoever would like to. Oh, you don't want to.
Brianna, get that shovel.
I'm gonna turn this Diesel, Rio, can you please sit over here? And Kimber, would you come here for me? You got what today? Yeah. Kimber. You should sit with Diesel. You want to finish it right up to the level? Let's go again. Another round. That's what Grammy would say.
Good work to be
Another
done.
round. Don't leave anything half finished. You're done. You don't need to fill it quite to the top because there are the tops that have the sauce, but a few more is probably good. Two more. Give me two more. Kimber, stay here with Mommy, please. You want to come sit on the blanket with all the other kids?
Smoothing it.
Perfect. Okay. Very nice. What are you doing with all the kids gathered? That was very nice.
Everyone. At this time, Heather would like to do a special tribute to Joy's great-grandchildren.
Who is this? Grammy, great Grammy. And today we're saying goodbye to great Grammy. And she loved every one of you. And you love her too, right? You've got a whole bunch of Grammy in your heart. So what we're going to do today is to say goodbye to Grammy. We have these flowers. And you can give the flower a kiss. And we'll go set it on the place. And you can leave it there for Gammy. Okay? Who wants to go first? I think Jada.
I'm gonna go with Can me and Leanna go together?
You sure can. Okay, so you can come here and you can just set it like that, or this way, or however you think looks nice. And you can just quickly say goodbye to Gabby. Love you. Do you two want to go next? Lena and Ella?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both
You
of
give a
my-
kiss?
We both, my bear gave a kiss too.
Oh, wonderful. That's good.
You can kiss it anywhere.
And you just say, bye-bye, Gammy. We love you. Good job. Eva, Rio, you guys want to come?
I got bit by a. I got
Okay,
bit by
grab
a
one. Good job. We love you, Gammy. Ashton? Victoria, Kimberly. We say bye-bye to Great Granny. Victoria? And do you have for Quinn and Joseph? Bye, Grammy. Bye-bye, Great Gram. Everybody else would like to come? Put your flower on.
How beautiful is this to see Joy's final resting place covered with roses from all the love of her family. And as we bring this memorial service to a close, I hope Joy is watching down fondly on us from above, knowing that she will be missed but lovingly remembered by everyone who knew her. Please join me in reciting the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Please enjoy this closing hymn, How Great Thou Art, by Vince Gill and Carrie Underwood.
Thanks for making it work. Good job. I was thinking. We'll get something. Yeah, I'm sure your neighbor wondered why.
Yeah, so I just want to know about the phone call that you got from Joy. We know Joy passed away last week, but you got a phone call shortly before that.
About a week before that, or 2 weeks maybe before. Yeah.
Yeah, and she phoned you up.
Yeah.
And she remembered your number from before.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so what did you guys talk about?
Well, it was such a surprise, Greg. Like, it was like a blast from the past because she sounded exactly, "Hi, Gail, how are you?" You know, like, just like we talked yesterday or the day before or whatever, and we hadn't talked in a long time.
No.
Because I couldn't get into the lodge and she couldn't come out, and anyhow, she said, "How are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm doing fine, Joy. How are you?" "Oh," she said, "I'm good." And she said, I said, "What are you up to?" And she said, I'm just waiting on Merv to pick me up. And I said, "Oh, that's just great." And she said, "And how's Bob?" And I said, "He's great too." And then, yeah, like it was such a wonderful
conversation.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was just like she used to be in the old days. And, yeah.
And Dad and Verb have been gone since 2009 or 8, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was.
So she was giving you a call just to catch
check
up
in.
and stuff. Yeah.
And then before she hung up, she said to me, "Don't go away, because I'm gonna phone you back." And I said, "Well, I'm not going anywhere, Joy." And she never did phone me back, but. I don't know how she got my number. Like, she hadn't phoned me in a long, long time. Yeah, it was a miracle in a way. And then to think that she passed away shortly after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a real gift for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.